Hi everyone! So today I thought I would do a video with the look that Rachel McAdams wore to the Critics' Choice Awards. I don't know if you guys saw her makeup. I will put a picture so you can have a look, but it was a really gorgeous natural look with a really lovely berry lip, and I thought not only is this a gorgeous look, but it was a really great one. I thought perhaps with Valentine's Day coming up, it's sort of quite romantic but not too heavy, and just really pretty soft look. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. To begin with, I'm going to get the base sorted, and I'm going to use the Rimmel Match Perfection foundation and work it in with a Real Technique sculpting brush. Now, not really designed I guess for putting on foundation, but I just find it gives a really nice natural finish to the skin and it works it in really nicely. So that's our foundation worked in. Next up, I'm going to do the brows. Now, Rachel had a really natural brow, so nothing too heavy for this look, guys. We don't want anything too penciled in, just a really natural look. I'm taking the Sleek Brow Kit, and this is in Light 817. It looks like this. And I'm actually just going to take the powder. I'm not going to use the wax in this one because it was a really gentle brow look. So I'm just going to take a sleek brow brush and taking the light powder, just work that through to fill in any gaps. That's our brows done, and next up we're focusing on eyes. Now for the eyes, she had a sort of soft fluttery lashes on the top, a little bit of black eyeliner, and then a real soft brown wash that she did have a little bit under the eye as well, and it was just real natural because she had the sort of real focus on the mouth with a deep lip that she had going on. So to start things off, I'm just going to do the wash sort of over the eye. And for the colour, I couldn't find an exact match, sort of actually a mix of two I found worked best. And this is taking the Sleek Eye Divine Storm palette, and that's in 578. And I'm actually mixing, it's these two colours here. It's a bit of the gold and a little bit of this ash brown. So taking just a little contour brush here from Sleek, and just sort of mixing a couple of those together and working it on the back of my hand just to get a nice mix of colours. I'm adding the gold because she just had a bit of a shine there with it. So just taking that across the lid. Nothing too dark, it was quite a light look. And then also look up and just sort of wash it under the eye as well. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is a Sleek shading brush, and just use that to get it right under the eye. And really in at the lashes, and that's it for the colour. So again, just repeat on the other eye. So you don't want anything really too dark. Just added a little bit of lightness to the eye. To create a slight contrast, I'm just taking just the goldy colour and just working that in the inner corner, just so it creates that difference in the colours there, gives it a little bit of brightness. the inner corner. Okay, so that's the wash of colour done, and then next up she did have, just on the top lashes, some sort of black eyeliner, but again it wasn't too heavy, so rather than using a liquid liner, I'm actually going to go back to that same palette. Actually, it's the Storm palette, and there is a sort of black sort of eyeliner shade on there, and I'm going to use, it's a Ruby and Millie eye brush, and it's sort of a flat eyeliner brush, and it looks like this. So I'm just going to take that on the brush, use the back of your hand to kind of work off any excess, and then just smudge that in, right in at the lashes, just to give definition. It wasn't too thick, it was slightly thicker on the outer corner, but she didn't have a wing or anything sort of like that. It was just I think to sort of thicken up the lashes, and because it does look like she is wearing some false lashes, I think it just helped to sort of blend everything together and give a little bit of depth to the eye where the lashes are there. So just work that in. Take it carefully, quite thinly into the inner corner. That's that eye, and then repeat. So again, taking some of that same black, that's pretty much it for the eyes. We're just going to move on and get mascara done, and then pop on some false lashes before we continue with everything else. So for mascara, she had some nice thick flattery lashes, so I'm taking the Soap and Glory Thick and Fast High Definition Collagen Coat Mascara, and before we do that I am actually just going to curl my lashes, so let's go ahead and curl those. Let's apply mascara. So really working it in at the roots. And then she did have a little bit on the bottom lashes, so sort of take your wand, wipe off any excess, and then use the tip of the wand, looking up, and just sort of sweep it across the bottom lashes. Like that. So you do get a nice natural finish, but some definition at the same time. Okay, so for false lashes, I'm going to apply, these are the Ardell's in 105. So take your lash, and I'm actually using, it's an Eyeliner lash glue. So just take that, and what you want to do is pop a bit on to the lash, and then sort of wait and leave it to go sort of tacky. So I'm just going to apply that now. And then let it sit just for sort of a minute or so until it starts to dry, because otherwise they just smear all over the place and they're absolute nightmare to apply. And when you're applying your glue, you don't want too much, but you do want to make sure that you get some glue on sort of the outer corners, because that is actually the place that tends to curl up and doesn't stick as easy. So do make sure that you get a bit of glue on those ends, and that will help keep them in place. Okay, so we're just waiting for that glue to dry a little bit on the lashes, and whilst we're waiting I'm going to do a little bit of concealing work just to sort of start evening up the skin a little bit more. And I'm going to take, this is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and this is in number 20, and just apply as and where coverage is needed. So to my same brush that I used for the foundation, which was the Real Technique Sculpting brush. I'm just going to take that and gently work the concealer into the skin. And using a sort of patting, pressing motion. And then for around the eyes, I'm actually going to take a ring finger and just gently pat and work that into the skin. So that's our sort of concealing done, and we should now be ready for the lashes. They should hopefully have dried a little bit enough for us to work them in. So taking a lash, you want to just give it a little bend, work it around a little bit, and then sort of look down and get it roughly in the right place. And then you can sort of take a tool, I normally use this sort of smudger, but just to work it and press it into place. Use your fingers, whichever's easiest, and just gently press it. And I always find a good tip is to sort of pinch it at the corners so it goes in with your natural lashes, because the corners are always the bit that doesn't want to stick. And then the key is actually not to fiddle too much with them. Once you feel like they're in place and you're happy with the position, just leave them, because then the glue will dry and it will keep them in place nicely for you. So let's just repeat on the other side. Okay, so that's the lashes on, and we'll come back to those if we feel we want to later, but let's move on to the blush. So for the blush, she had a very slight hint of pink just sort of under the cheekbones, and I'm using the Sleek Pixie Pink, and that's in 936. And just take a sleek, this is a Duo Fiber face brush, but we want a very light hand with this. It was very, sort of a very gentle flush, again because the focus is on the lips. So sort of mop off any excess on your wrist or the back of your hand, and just take it, it wasn't sort of so much on the apples, but just sort of slightly underneath. So pull some silly faces, see where that sort of shadow falls, and just put a very gentle wash and where that falls, and take it sort of up. She had it up into sort of the hairline. Now for the rest of the face, she did have, again, I think it was a very slight hint of bronzer. Nothing for contouring really or anything like that, just to give a little bit of colour to the face because she is very fair. So I'm taking the Bourjois, it's called Délice de Soleil, that's my wonderful French accent for you guys, and that's sort of a chocolatey bronzing powder, very gentle with a little bit of flecks of gold. So on that same Duo Fiber brush, she sort of had a little bit just across the forehead here, around the jawline, and a little touch down the nose and across the chin. Now guys, we want a really light hand with this because she is fair, so it wasn't really about going sort of dark and tanned looking. It was just to add a little bit of colour to the face, a little bit of warmth, to sort of make a nice glow. So that's that, and finally we're on to the lips, which is really what this look was all about. Now I didn't have an exact colour as to what she wore for this, I sort of had a good route through, but I found a mix of two which I think works well, so have a look and see what you guys have got. But it's basically a sort of a pinky, reddy, mauvey plum colour, which probably doesn't really help sum it up very easily. But I found layering these two works quite well for me. So I'm starting with, and what's this one? It's the Volume Booster Lipstick in Hello, and that's by Rimmel. So we're going to start with that. And then to top that off, her lips were quite glossy, so I'm taking, this is the Max Factor what's it called, lip gloss in 60 Polished Fuchsia, which gives more of that sort of pinky glossy colour that I think works quite well over the top. So taking that, and let's just layer that on. So as you can see from the bottom lip there, that just deepens up the colour just nicely to give that sort of shade that she had on. And then always take your finger, pop it in your mouth, go like that, and that takes off any excess so you don't get anything on your teeth. That's always a good tip. And that's the look all done, guys. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you want to see some more, and hopefully catch up with you soon. Bye!